the should I say? Chat, we back live. We back. We back. Now my notifications probably gonna be fucked up. Can we do reacts? Yeah, we can do reacts. We can do reacts. Keep it. Yep. React to the football thing I sent? Alright, bet. You sent it in Discord or? If it's trash, you can switch. Alright, bet. Alright, bet. Let me pull up Discord. I love watching my girl try on her underwear. Oh, this right here? Alright, bet. Well, I'm about to pull it up on so I won't get ads. Should I kill him slowly? Oh my, oh me. Click, clack, track me. I'm gonna supermodel do a burnout. Alright, let's get it. Come on. Oh shit. Yo, Sammy, they updated the little mod shit. Your shit look different. Alright, come on, Chuck. We about to react to this. Let's go. Let me pause this. Oh shit. I'm on the bike for the KTM, but gang in the cool. I was alright, I was in love at the end. I see the house by the schoolyard. Gra. Alright, let's get it, homie. Put my controller right here. Put that right here. Put that right there. Alright, let's get it, man. Let's go, man. We in this shit, man. Let's go. Put this shit in the way. What the fuck? Nigga, get this shit out of here. Alright. It's this one right here, right? Yeah. Oh, damn. 2 years ago? We about to react to this. The entire history of the NFL. There we go. 2 years ago. I'm late, chat. I'm late, bruh.
Did you know the NFL used to look like this? That the field used to be this small, or that players didn't use helmets. Much has changed throughout the years. So, how did we get here? Well, it all started back in 1892, when the sport was stolen. They made up this crazy game called rugby,
I do not play Roblox.
This field and this ball. So Americans just took everything and called it football. The only difference was they made football extremely deadly, because while they both didn't wear any helmets or pads, instead of tackling, football players would fist fight, bite each other's ears off, or even gouge each other's eyes out. It was so bad that by 1906, over 100 people had died from playing football, and thousands of others became disabled. But in 1920, football became a game instead of a crime. when a
This
player
shit
named Jim
27
Thorpe
minutes
formed
long,
the
bruh.
first ever pro football league and finally introduced some rules which stopped players from dying so much. They got some shoulder pads and leather helmets, told everyone to stop fist fighting, and legalized passing the ball. So now that things were official, they decided to name the league, calling it the American Professional Football Association, or APFA. Yeah, that name was booty. So 2 years later they changed it, and in 1922, the world was finally blessed with the NFL. Now, there's 14 chapters in the NFL.
Like, imagine if stuff was called different, like,
1922.
what if they never
Era
changed the
where
name?
The league was terrible. There was no Super Bowl, no game schedule. I mean, teams would literally play whenever they wanted. And when it comes to players, the pay was so bad, it wasn't a full-time gig. So the league was filled with milkmen and coal miners in jerseys. And let's just say that you were a fan that could look past all of that. Were you really gonna support the Columbus Panhandles, the Moline Universal Tractors, or whatever the hell this is? Yeah,
Oh,
those
W.
were real NFL teams. It was impossible.
Oh, that was
to be
from
a
Twitch
fan,
right there.
and
That was a
NFL
Twitch
knew
follow
it
right
too,
there, W.
because the league just wasn't growing. Over the next
We gonna
20
test
years,
out that
things
Twitch
only
shit.
got
We gonna test it out,
worse. I mean, 14
on, like, Monday.
different teams went bankrupt, and those that did survive had to take out loans to pay their players. Plus, the
That was
NFL
Alex.
wasn't even the best football league.
W.
College
Alex.
football was literally 20 times more popular.
I got
It was
you.
looking
We're
like
gonna
the
try it,
beginning of the
Alex,
end.
on Monday. That's when we're gonna try Twitch. Twitch didn't work out today, but
But in 1949, the NFL came up with a genius solution, implementing 3 key changes that no other league had at the time. They added set game schedules, started televising games, and to help with reducing injuries, the NFL introduced plastic helmets.
The inventor sure has faith in his helmet, for he's going to try it out himself. And now watch him take it. Right on the old
what the
beat.
fuck? Hold on, my mouse is in the way.
Yeah, along
That
with
shit
some
annoying.
new teams like the Colts, Browns, and 49ers. And all these changes worked because the 1958 NFL Championship had become the most watched sporting event in TV history. See, the 2 biggest teams in the league, the New York Giants and Baltimore Colts, were facing off. And after going back and forth all game, the 2 teams went into the first ever sudden death overtime. So everyone and their mom tuned in. I'm talking 45 million people.
God damn.
Literally 9 times more than the year before. And after the Colts took home the W, it became forever nicknamed the greatest game ever played. In the 1960s, a rival league was formed called the AFL, which introduced teams like the Texans, Chargers, Bills, Raiders, and Patriots. And their
Yes, sir.
owners
GOAT
were
team
way
right there.
more rich and way more greedy, so they were trying to take the NFL down by any means necessary, like stealing their players, nabbing their TV contracts. They even paid players so much that the NFL couldn't afford to stay in business. So the NFL had no choice but to play dirty back by stealing the AFL star players, like Pete Gogolak. But after 7 years of back and forth, it became clear nobody was winning. So to avoid bankruptcy,
Yo, what's good,
the two decided
Fernando?
to merge and become
What's
one
good, my
league
boy Fernando?
called the NFL. Again. Now, we've got 9 more chapters about the NFL's history coming up, and that's not all. We'll talk about the future too, because the NFL will be implementing artificial intelligence that predicts plays before they even happen. And the league wants to replace refs with AI. Yeah, the NFL's changing.
Ooh, Chet, like, have y'all heard about that, like the quarterback little visor thing where it can, like, read the defense and then, it'll tell you when your receiver's open? You ever heard about that, bro? Like, and they be saying some of the NFL quarterbacks be using it in the games or some shit like that. You ever heard about
A
that?
lot. But if you want to make a change too, you should check out today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Listen, we all know therapy is important, and that we probably should do
That's
it, but
cheating, yeah,
it's just not
exactly.
easy.
But no, they say they use it. They don't. They're not allowed to use it in game. They're not allowed to use it in game. I think they're only allowed to use it in practice. Like in game, they're not allowed to use it. But
Finding a therapist
practice,
that
I
works
think that's
for
when they
you,
use it.
then actually going there once a week, plus paying hundreds of dollars per session. I figured
Patriots going to
there
win.
had
That's
to
what I
be a
like to
better
see.
Solution. That's when I did some research and found BetterHelp.
All right, lock into the video.
BetterHelp allows you to access therapy.
Ah.
We'll call BetterHelp 10. It's some now, and of course, in 1972, one of the help for this generous offer and supporting the channel. Now, in 1972, one of the most controversial moments in NFL history would happen. During the final play of a 1972 AFC playoff game, the Steelers quarterback threw the ball. It bounced off a player's helmet, and not only that, it somehow fell into another player's hands. And the Steelers scored the game-winning touchdown. This play was so incredible, it became forever known as the Immaculate
That shit was
Reception.
that shit was the greatest play they ever seen in their life, chat. Like,
Here's the problem. Back then, once the ball left a quarterback's hands, an offensive player could not catch a pass that had been touched by another offensive player, unless a defensive player had touched the ball. But when you watch the tape back, it's impossible to tell if a defensive player ever actually touched the ball. So this instantly sparked outrage, with Raiders players and fans saying that catch should not have counted.
When a guy crosses a goal line, it's either a
Chad, what y'all
touchdown
think right there? What y'all think right there?
or it's not. They didn't call a touchdown. They didn't know if it was a touchdown.
I mean, I guess technically during the rules at the time when the rules is like that, that's not a touchdown. Cause look, I don't think he touched the ball.
It's
Chat.
impossible to tell.
I don't think he
if a
touched the ball.
defensive player ever actually
So look, y'all think he touched the ball? Look.
touched the ball.
Oh, actually, I think he did. He low-key did. I ain't gonna lie, he low-key did.
Back. It's impossible to
Oh, he
tell
low-key
if
did
a
touch that
defensive
shit.
player
He
ever
did touch
actually
that.
touched the ball. So this
He definitely did
instantly
touch that.
sparked outrage.
It
with
bounced off
Raiders
his
players
helmet.
and fans
Wait,
touched
it
the
bounced
ball.
off.
So
It bounced off who helmet?
tape back. It's impossible to tell.
My
if a
fault.
defensive
All right, this is the last time we're gonna
player
review
ever
it. This is the last time we're reviewing it right here.
actually touched the ball. So
Oh, it did look. I don't know.
this instantly sparked outrage.
It did kind of
with
look
Raiders
like.
players and fans saying that catch should not have counted.
When a guy crosses a goal line, it's either a touchdown or it's not. They didn't call a touchdown. They didn't know if it was a touchdown. I went out. They said, get away. We don't know what happened. So now the referee leaves that huddle, and he goes over to the dugout on
Yeah,
the
that's Madden.
Pittsburgh
That's
Steelers
John Madden right
side,
there.
and he gets on the phone, and he makes a call to someone. Then he hangs up. Then he walks out into the middle field and says, touchdown. 5 or 10 minutes later.
We were in a locker room. John came in and just said, guys, we got screwed.
They call it the Immaculate Reception. I call it the Immaculate Deception.
Yeah, and it's still being debated to this day. The rest of the decade, though, was all about domination, because the Steelers became a dynasty, winning 3 Super Bowls in 4 years.
Nah, cause technically cause like they called a touchdown. I feel like during the rules at the time, that shouldn't have been a touchdown. Cause they say if a defender doesn't touch the ball, you feel me? Like, and if it bounced off his helmet and then his player caught it, it shouldn't have been a touchdown. But like,
9 Hall of Fame players on the
They
team,
rewrote the
and it was
rules.
on
They
paper,
rewrote
but
the
they weren't
rules
alone,
right there.
Because the Dallas Cowboys won 2 Super Bowls, and were actually so good, they became
You
known
think it
as
was a
America's team.
defensive,
But nobody won like the Miami Dolphins.
Fast and Furious?
Because to this day,
Low-key.
they're the only team in NFL history to have completed a perfect record season, going 17-0.
That's it. It's over. Way to go, Nicky. That's right, man.
However, in 1980, the NFL was forced to prepare for his funeral. See, over the last decade, there were 3 separate plane crashes carrying sports.
first thing he
teams
do when he
from
get
the
up,
Marshall
yes sir.
University
You know what I'm
football
saying?
team
Nigga say
to
he
the
go.
University
He said he gonna tell my manager. You gonna tell my manager that I was streaming. Like, nigga tell my manager. Give a fuck.
and the
Nigga.
United States boxing team. All
Hey, nigga, I'm focused on the video right now. Get the fuck out of my chat, nigga. I'm recording the video. Get the fuck out of my chat, nigga.
191 people.
Good evening. A charter jet carrying the Marshall University football team home to West Virginia crashed last night as it tried to land at the Huntington
He fucking
Airport.
distracting me.
All
telling you.
75 persons aboard were killed.
Ooh.
It was the worst plane crash in the United States so far this year.
This shook the sports world and made the NFL completely change their views on safety. So they cooked up all kinds of guidelines, like the disaster draft, where if a team suffers a tragedy, the league will host an emergency draft to replace their players. But the NFL wanted to improve.
Yo, I heard that's actually a real thing. I heard about that, chat. Like, imagine that shit happen. I wonder if they got that in the NBA too. Like, I heard about that. Like say, like a whole just never happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, but say like a team, NFL team, they all crash shit like that. They all done. You know what I'm saying? That never happened. You know what I'm saying? But and then they would have to restart. You have to do a whole draft again. Imagine that. Imagine like that shit happening. I don't get Drake may gotta get redrafted, nigga. Chat like. We might fuck around and get Pat Mahomes.
The league will host an emergency draft to replace their players.
But nah, that should
the
be crazy
NFL
though,
wanted
chat.
to improve safety on the field too. So they implemented stricter rules on contact to the head, neck, and face, making sure the chances of disaster were slim to none, which is exactly what the league needed. In 1985, the 49ers drafted the greatest wide receiver of all time, a man who still holds the most receiving yards in NFL history and has the most touchdowns of all time.
Yo,
The one
I'm
and only
tweaking
Jerry Rice.
the music and the
But he
shit. I
wasn't
thought.
the only legend on the Niners, because he teamed up with legendary quarterback Joe
I'm tweaking.
Montana, and together, those two dominated the rest of the 80s, winning 2 Super Bowls together. These dudes were NFL stars, but by the 90s, an unlikely star would come around to steal the spotlight. The Super Bowl was the most popular thing on TV, pulling in an average 80 million viewers per year. But there was a problem. The halftime shows sucked, and they knew that if they wanted to increase their viewership, they had to get their act together.
What was the first halftime show? I wonder who performed at the first 2 weeks, sir.
Something
Yo, who
that would
performed
get
at the first
everyone
halftime show?
talking about the Super Bowl. So they called up the biggest star in the world, Michael Jackson, and he put on the
Michael
performance of a
Jackson.
lifetime, with viewership
Damn,
exploding to an
damn,
insane 133 million.
Fireworks.
130.
hurricane
And chat,
machines.
imagine.
Insane 133
And this was without social media, chat. Imagine how like chat. Imagine Michael Jackson with social media, chat. Like, nigga, that shit would probably hit 1 billion. That shit would probably hit. You know what I'm saying, chat? Like, this shit crazy.
million.
Fireworks, hurricane machines, and the Moonwalker himself form the centerpiece of the highest-rated television broadcast of all time.
This was the moment
I'm low-key
that
the same
halftime
color as
shows
bro.
became the must-see event of the year. I mean,
Nigga, stop playing,
people
it's the
would tune
lighting,
in
nigga.
just to see the halftime show. And that's still the case to this day. It was June 12,
Oh, shit.
1994. Everyone was just going about their day when news broke that the ex-wife of one of the NFL's biggest stars, O.J. Simpson, was stabbed to death. People were shocked and started to question if O.J. had anything to do with it. But just a couple of days after the murder, every TV station was hit with a breaking news alert saying,
O.J. Simpson vanishes after being charged for a crime his fans never dreamed he could commit.
Unbelievably, the most watched, most wondered about man in America has gone missing tonight. He apparently disappeared from under the noses of his lawyers and doctors this afternoon, dodged an arranged surrender, and vanished into the Los Angeles haze. There is nothing like this in memory. Nothing. I understand we're going to go to a live picture in Los Angeles. Okay.
The fuck is he looking
Police
at? Check, that's all I'm
believe he
looking
was in
at.
that vehicle. Police radio is saying that Simpson, the passenger in the car, has a gun at his head.
this was insane. Like, just imagine a player today like Tom Brady going on the run for murder. It was unlike anything the world had ever seen.
That should be
so
crazy.
once word got around, over 95 million people tuned in to watch OJ speed down the LA highway as he narrowly missed hitting civilians on the road.
Highway Patrol. Yeah, I think I just saw O.J. Simpson on the...
I feel like he ain't do it. Nah,
And
nigga. That nigga did it.
we like looked at him, you know?
Did that.
And he like
Did
stared
that
us down like he was deaf.
And finally, after a 45-minute
Did that
chase,
shit.
OJ surrendered. But the case was far from over, because as OJ went to trial, he argued that he had nothing to do with the murders, the evidence had been mishandled, and that the cops had been racist against him. But despite his pleas, all signs pointed to OJ being guilty. No, the entire public knew it. Like, why would you run from the police like that if you're innocent? But in the end, one crucial piece of evidence saved OJ's life.
Item number 9, the Rocky One.
Boom, right here, watch.
At this time, the people would ask that Mr. Simpson step forward and try on the glove.
Try
recovered
on the
at
glove
Bundy's,
right here,
as well as
chat.
the glove recovered at Rocky.
I remember this. Well, I don't remember this, chat, because I wasn't alive at this time, but I just seen it. I heard about the shit. You know what I'm saying? Boom, right? It don't fit, chat, but look. What I heard, I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying what I heard on the internet. I ain't believing this shit. Like, you just hear conspiracy theories and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But, like, they had said that, like, he takes some type of medicine, right? Like, he takes some type of medicine. I forgot what it was for or some shit. But if he stopped taking the medicine, he swell up a little bit. So I said, so they was like, his lawyer cooked up on some shit and told him to stop taking his medicine so his hands can, like, you know what I'm saying, that he can't fit the gloves. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, chat, you feel me? Yo, what's good, B? But, like, yeah, like, I heard. I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying, I don't know if it's true. It's just something I heard. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did that shit.
All right. Thank you, Counsel.
It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
Yeah.
Look, that nigga like, chat, like, that nigga, like, I really just did that shit. Like,
charges dropped against him. To this day, though, people still think OJ really did it. And to be honest, it's because of things like this.
Just did you do it?
No, I didn't.
After we finished filming,
and then the thing gonna be like, I seen this
surprise
shit.
For me, and I genuinely was surprised. I think it was his idea of a joke.
Now, this moment
Oh God,
really marked the beginning of NFL players going off the deep end.
This shit not funny.
Because the
bro,
rest
like,
of the
bro.
90s were just as unhinged.
Like, imagine going on trial and shit like that for stabbing the fuck out somebody. Boom, and you trolling. After you beat that shit, you go around trolling, talking about something. Like,
Ray Caruth hired a hitman to shoot his girlfriend. Alonzo Spellman threatened to kill himself.
Wait, hold on. What happened? Lock in.
This moment really marked the beginning of NFL players going off the deep end. Because the rest of the 90s were just as unhinged. Ray Caruth hired a hitman to shoot his girlfriend.
I never heard about
Alonzo Spellman threatened to kill himself with a landline telephone. All because his doctor was late to his appointment.
Wait,
And
huh?
Cecil Collins was arrested for breaking into a woman's house
Huh?
to watch her sleep.
Huh?
He just stood there and watched.
CTE, chat. CTE. That's what happens when you play football. When you play football from fucking 5 years old to fucking 30, nigga. CTE, boy. CTE, my boy.
Now, while crime ruled the 90s, cash ruled the 2000s. Between merchandise, TV deals, and sponsorships, business was booming. The NFL was now worth $12 billion, and players wanted their piece of the bag too. So to keep their stars happy, the NFL was forced to pay up big time, which had Brett Favre now making $47 million for 7 years. Randy Moss was making $66 million for 8 years. Hell, even safeties like Lawyer Malloy were making $35 million for 7 years. NFL players were getting you money, but in 2001, Drew Bledsoe smashed all the records because he was considered the best quarterback in the league, and the Patriots wanted to make sure their star was taken care of. So they offered a record-breaking $103
Like the Patriots
million
chat.
contract
Patriots begin
for
blessed
10
with quarterbacks.
years.
That shit
But
crazy.
by 2001, all of that money went to waste because immediately after, Drew
Damn.
suffered a collapsed lung and was sidelined for the entire season. The Patriots were the favorite to win it all that season, and now they were missing their star quarterback and had to rely on their backup, a guy with no experience.
And who it was?
The 199th
Who it was,
pick in the
chat?
draft.
You saw this.
And guess who it was, nigga?
looking kid.
Ooh,
Looked
nigga.
like haven't ever seen
That
him
who it
lately.
was.
Ran
Y'all know who it was.
5.2 something. One of the slowest quarterbacks in the combine.
Tom Brady has been put into quarterback and Drew Bledsoe taken out.
Tom Brady, the second-year quarterback from the University of Michigan, who threw only 3 passes in his rookie year last year, 1 for 3, a 6-yard completion, and this is his first duty of 2001. So apparently Bledsoe knocked around a little more than it appeared, and Brady in charge against 5 defensive backs.
This man came in and instantly became a star, leading the team to a Super Bowl and winning it all that season. Brady quickly became the face of the Patriots, and soon after, the entire NFL. Yeah, if it wasn't for Drew's injury, Tom Brady might have never happened.
Like, imagine.
But by 2003, there was another quarterback who was dominating the field. A man that could move like a running back, throw bombs like Tom Brady, and had defenses dropping to their knees. I'm talking about Michael Vick. See, for the first time ever,
Michael Vick, he
we
a
saw a
goat,
quarterback
chat.
that
He
could
from
beat
he
with
from
no
over where I'm
help
at,
and
chat.
could
He
run
coach
into the end zone at any moment.
the
For
college
Michael Vick, quarterbacks
in
are
SU,
mostly
chat.
handing off or throwing the ball.
College
And
that's
now
like
you had to worry
20
about a
minutes from-
quarterback being a damn running back. And this style of play paved the way for future dual threats like Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, and Russell Wilson. At this point, the NFL was in its prime, but something happened in 2004 that scarred NFL fans for life.
Houston! Choose
It was the Super Bowl 38 halftime show. Over 144 million people watching live. You had little kids to grandparents, all huddled around their TV. And they were all excited to see 2 of the biggest stars in the world perform, Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. So when they finally took the stage, the world shook. But during the final minutes of their epic performance, Justin was supposed to rip off a part of Janet's costume to reveal another layer of her outfit.
Oh my
But
God.
instead, she had a wardrobe malfunction.
Oh.
And this went down as the
Wait, that
legendary
actually-
nipple gate.
Was it planned, Janet?
No.
It was not planned.
Well, what people don't understand is he was to take and rip the piece off that he did.
The leather piece.
Right, but more came off than what was supposed to.
Now, over the next 3 years, the only exciting thing to happen was Peyton Manning having his glow-up, winning his second MVP, and taking home his first ring.
What was
And
that
also,
sound?
the NFL decided to ban touchdown celebrations. One of the dumbest decisions the NFL's ever made. But in 2007, shit really hit the fan, because an entire team's reputation was ruined. See, it was the first week of the season, and the Patriots were destroying the Jets.
Able to go long for Moss. Moss has his first touchdown as a Patriot.
It seemed like the Patriots somehow knew every one of the Jets' moves. And that's because they did. Because it turned out they were spying on the Jets, using hidden cameras. And when the NFL launched an investigation, they found out the Pats had been creeping on not only the Jets, but the entire league for almost 8 years.
Oh, so technically we were just studying film on niggas, huh?
Yeah, New England was a bunch of damn cheaters. So the NFL
They
fined
just
their
watching
ass
film.
$250,000 and made them give up their 2008 first-round pick. But despite getting caught and having a target on their back, nothing could stop the Patriots. Because that same season, they went on to dominate the league. I mean, they managed to put together the greatest team the NFL had ever seen. They had guys like Randy Moss, Lawrence Maroney, Vince
Okay, what they gonna
Wilfork.
say now though, nigga? What you gonna say now though, huh? It's 2026, nigga. What you gonna say now when it's Super Bowl? What you gonna say now, nigga, huh? What's your excuse now?
And Sammy Morris all
Alright
teamed up with Tom Brady. And
Alright
together,
then.
they went 16-0. All they had to do was win the Super Bowl, and they would have completed a perfect season. So, going into the big game, it seemed like a lock for the Patriots.
Nope.
And with a minute left,
We got
with the
fucking cooked by
Patriots
Eli
up,
Manning.
it looked like they were gonna go undefeated until the Giants made the greatest catch in NFL history.
Oh my God, Eli tough for that, bruh.
Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree. Oh my God. This ball's thrown and Tyree just goes up for it like a basketball player. Harrison trying to knock it down. And Eli, man, I don't know how he got out of there. I
Word, that's what I'm saying. Like the catch is crazy, but Eli like, nigga, get the fuck off me. Nigga said, get off me. What y'all doing? Flung. He said, fuck it. He said, fuck it. Somebody gonna go down there. Somebody gonna grab that shit.
Oh my God. This ball's thrown and Tyree just goes up for it
That's
like
crazy.
a basketball player. Harrison trying to knock it down. And Eli, man, I don't know how he got out of there. I thought he was on the ground and then he came out of the pile and just slings it.
Yeah, who we got? Show me.
Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York. The Giants have won the Super Bowl.
But for Brady and the Patriots, this was the worst moment of their lives. Keep in mind, though, he was only 30 years old, so he knew he would return next year better than ever. Well, that is if he wasn't killed. Because in 2009, the Saints were caught trying to kill quarterbacks. See, after the playoffs,
Send me her
the Vikings
Instagram.
filed a complaint to the NFL,
How-
accusing the Saints of
How old is you?
purposely trying to injure them. So the league launched an investigation into the Saints and discovered
Hold up.
something sinister.
Today, our partners at Yahoo Sports uncovered a recording, and on it, a New Orleans coach graphically telling players to inflict injuries in a big playoff game.
Tie at the top. Got a lot of guys up at the top. Kill the hit, the body will die. Kill the hit, the body will die. We've got to do everything in the world to make sure we kill Frank Gore's hit. We want him running sideways. We want his head sideways.
The Saints were giving players bonuses for tearing ACLs, hitting guys with existing injuries, and even paying them $35,000 to try and permanently injure the Vikings quarterback. But in the end, the Saints got hit the hardest, because 4 of their players were suspended for a total of 31 games, and 2 of their coaches were suspended for the entire season. Over the next few years, we saw some of the most ridiculous moments in NFL history. Marshawn Lynch had a touchdown that was so crazy, all the fans cheering caused a 2.0 magnitude earthquake. Brett Favre sent nudes to a Jets employee and got fined 50 grand, and a snowstorm caused the Vikings' whole stadium to collapse, causing $18.3 million in damages. It was ridiculous. But the most ridiculous thing was how the NFL almost ruined the league for a season. See, the refs felt like they were overworked and underpaid, so they went on strike, saying the NFL was a bunch of cheap asses, and they weren't going to work until they got a fair deal. But the NFL responded by laughing in their face and hiring the worst replacements imaginable. You had refs that had only ever reffed in a high school game, and even some that had only reffed in a lingerie football league. Yeah, those were the guys now reffing in the NFL, and it went about as horribly as you'd expect. They were out there blowing calls and completely ruining games. Like the Fail Mary, where at the last second, the Seahawks won on a catch that should not have counted, and fans lit up the NFL, starting the hashtag Things Better Than Replacement Refs, and even started boycotting the NFL entirely. Hell, even Obama tweeted about it. Thankfully though, that nightmare only lasted about 3 weeks, because the NFL finally made a deal with their refs, giving them a major increase in salary and benefits, and afterwards, the commissioner even apologized to the fans.
Starting with our fans, and we're sorry to have to bring our fans through that. We're sorry to bring the general public through that.
But the rest of the decade had some of the most legendary moments in NFL history, like OBJ's all-time catch, the Packers' miracle in Motown, and the Seahawks throwing away the Super Bowl at the 1-yard line. Yeah, that one hurts. There's one moment, though, that'll be remembered for all the wrong reasons. The biggest cheating scandal in sports history. See, during the 2015 playoffs, the New England Patriots were taking on the Colts when Tom Brady threw a pass that got intercepted. But instead of celebrating, the Colts were pissed because the football felt deflated. So they took the ball over to the sideline and showed the ref. And what happened next shocked the entire football world.
Nah, this shit is crazy,
NFL scandal, and it's dominating the airwaves.
Deflategate. Deflategate.
Deflategate. From the morning shows to talk radio, instead of talking about the Super Bowl, all eyes are on the ball. This ball.
The NFL found that 11 of the Pats' 12 balls were illegally underinflated.
Nah, that's
Pats
crazy.
Immediately got put on blast, getting called cheaters again by angry
Why do
fans.
y'all cheat? Okay. That's the old Patriots now. That's the old Patriots now. Okay, that's the old Patriots. That's the old Patriots, bro.
Every sports show on TV trashed their
That's the
name.
old Patriots. If the Patriots, I swear, if this some come out, if the Patriots and Drake May and shit like that start cheating again, bro, I'm not a Patriots fan, nigga.
Using Tom
But
Brady.
this shit, the first time with the plays and shit like that, nigga, I was like, what year was that? I was like 2 years old, 3. What? So what year was that? Shit like that. That ain't had nothing to do with me. This one right here though. Okay, I remember this shit like that. But hey.
Could be in the ring.
But now though, you feel me?
Well,
Like,
he was the one throwing the balls. And the NFL found some pretty sus texts between Brady and a couple of Patriots employees, talking about air pumps and needles, blowing up balls. One of the dudes even called himself the Deflator. So, after a year-long investigation, the NFL put their deflated balls right in the Patriots' mouth, suspending Tom Brady for 4 games, taking 2 first-round picks, and finding the team.
wait, how long did they? I feel like he should have low-key got a longer suspension than that. I ain't gonna lie.
$1 million. But
You hear about?
it still
Yeah, I
wasn't
heard about
enough
that.
to ruin Tom Brady's career, because that season he made the greatest comeback in NFL history. See, after dealing with the suspension
Tom
to
said
start the
Stafford
year,
will be
Tom brought
MVP
the
now.
Pats all
Matthew Stafford deserved MVP. Nigga
the way
had
to
a
the
hell of a
Super Bowl.
season, bro.
And despite being down 28-3 with only 15 minutes left in the game, they somehow came back and won it all. After this, Tom Brady became the undisputed GOAT, the greatest player in NFL history, and it's not even a debate. Now, between 2017 and 2020, the NFL had its craziest time period ever. The Browns lost every single game for almost 2 years straight. Aaron Hernandez went off the deep end. Pats owner Robert Kraft was busted at a rub and tug. Colin Kaepernick kneeled for the national anthem. Gronk broke the Super Bowl trophy. Saints fans tried to sue the NFL. And Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers and won his 7th ring.
Wait, huh? Wait, why did this happen? Wait, why?
NFL. And Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers and won his 7th ring at 42 years old. Yeah, things got pretty ridiculous. But now, we gotta talk about the most ridiculous player in NFL history. A dude that's known for jumping into goalposts, nuts first, twerking after touchdowns, and even arriving to practice in a hot air balloon. I'm talking about Antonio Brown. And in 2022, the NFL saw him lose his damn mind because he literally retired in the middle of a game.
Odd situation.
Bro, you should just, before he started doing all this crazy shit, bro, just to really just have fun for real. You know what I'm saying?
Very upset on the sideline. Took off his shoulder pads. Mike Evans, O.J. Howard trying to convince him to keep them on. Obviously, they were unable to do so. He tossed his shoulder pads, stripped off his shirt and glove, threw those into the crowd, then ran across the field while the teams were still on the field, giving the crowd a peace out sign. I'll let you know when we hear something official on his status.
Thank you, Jen. It may be an Antonio Brown out in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that was actually the last time we ever saw AB in the NFL. And since then, the game has had some huge changes. Tom Brady retired, the Raiders moved to Las Vegas, and stars like Patrick Mahomes are earning bags we've never seen, making a ridiculous $503 million for a 10-year contract. That is half $1 billion for throwing a damn ball. Well, look, where the game is headed is even crazy, because recently, the NFL dropped a documentary exposing their plans to implement artificial intelligence into football, where they announced that fans will know exactly what play a team's gonna run, because AI is gonna start showing plays before they even happen.
We can do the same type of thing with next-gen stats. We can overlay player routes and understand the play before it even happens.
Okay, but how though? What if a quarterback, okay, what if the play happens like that, right? And then they audible or some shit, like not even just the whole play, they just like, you know what I'm saying, like just changing the receivers or shit.
And
Like,
that's
you know,
not
like,
because pretty soon,
or they
won't
like,
be able to do
that's how
anything
AI.
without a camera on them. Because the NFL is going to let fans track them using AI software. Hell, they even want to put mics on every single player so fans can pick between who they want to hear. Also, there's even been discussions of replacing refs entirely with
Nah,
AI.
that would be tough. I feel like having mics on players would be tough. And but like if they can find a way to put like a camera, you know what I'm saying? Like imagine seeing like a receiver's point of view or a corner's point of view or some shit, like just something where it don't affect they don't even know it's their type shit, but like you can just get a different camera. That shit would be tough.
Of the NFL. And keep in mind, we're only a couple of years into AI. So in 5 or 10 years, the game's gonna look a whole lot different.
Nigga, they better not do anything with a fucking ball. They better not do anything with the gameplay. You feel me, chat? Like unless it's like helping players get healthier or some shit like that. It should only be like with cameras or like different angles and shit like that or something like that. You feel me? Like, hey, W video though, Sammy. W video, Samuel. Yeah, W video, Sam. Sammy boy. Yeah. W video. That was W. I'm surprised. 2 years. I'm 2 years late, chat. He said, dude, I remember back in 1823 when we had those crappy balls, the NFL had really changed. No, that's funny. No, that's funny. Every time I saw him, remember. There's a basketball one too. I wonder if Antonio quit for his health. Probably part of it, and that nigga was just crashing out, bruh. That ain't he was just crashing out. Damn, chat. I'm tight sad. My fucking Twitch won't working. I don't know why. I'm gonna search it though. I'm literally search it. I'm be like, I'm gonna go on YouTube or TikTok or ChatGPT. I'm be like, why when I tried to do a stream on Twitch and YouTube, my Twitch stream was all black. That's exactly what you type in. All right. What's the basketball? Is it the entire of the NBA? Okay. I'm late, Chad. What the fuck? I ain't never watched these. Oh, shit. Alright, we just watched the NFL one. Now we're going to watch the entire history of the NBA. This one only 15 minutes. This one's shorter.
And boom,
let's get straight
just
into
like
it. Start this over.
This is what basketball looked like a century ago. And here's what it looks. This is what basketball looked like a century ago.
Nah, that had to be like some halftime
what it looks
performance
like
right there,
now.
bruh.
So, how did we get here? Well, it all started when a teacher named James Naismith wanted to make a fun game for his students. And boom, just like that, we got
Like,
basketball.
I think invention like that is so crazy. Like, imagine being like basketball never exists, right? You're just like, damn, I want to play a game with my kids, with my students and shit like that. You feel me? Like, dude, boom, you just set up a little crazy and shit, and then y'all just like put that ball in there type shit, niggas. You know, like, that shit
But at
crazy.
first,
Like,
the
when
game was
just
complete.
anything that get invented, people just sit there and think and just be like, I'm about to do this. You know what I mean? Like,
they played with soccer balls and used wooden baskets as hoops. Yeah, it was literally basketball. And they couldn't even dribble. But the game quickly evolved. And by 1906, metal rims were introduced. They finally allowed dribbling, thank God. And the very first professional basketball league was formed, the NBL. But 12 years later, another league was created called the BAA, creating teams like the Celtics, the Lakers, the Knicks, and the Warriors. And by 1949, basketball was getting so popular that the BAA and the NBL were like, let's do it. So they merged, creating the NBA. But despite being the #1 basketball league in the world, most players in the NBA still had day jobs, like Norman Glick, who worked as a plumber. I'm not kidding. But in 1956,
so that's who they be talking about.
like Norman Glick,
This who they be talking about when they say, "Oh, you played against plumbers."
who worked as a plumber. I'm not kidding. But in 1956, one of the greatest players of all time made his NBA debut, Celtics legend Bill Russell. He was so good that he won a championship in his first season and 10 more throughout his career. Yeah, 11 championships. The Celtics dominated the league for 13 years straight, but in 1959, Bill's biggest rival joined the league, Wilt Chamberlain, a man who could bench 500 pounds, sleep with 20,000 women, and score 100 points in a single game. The record
I don't know my
holds to
shit.
this day.
By
the way,
he fucking shit hurt. 20,000. This shit hurting. This shit
none of those things
shit
were ever
hurting.
recorded on camera, so there's a bit of debate on whether any of it happened. The next 20 years were a dark era for the NBA. In fact, it was almost the death of it.
Hell yeah,
In
I think he really dropped that.
1967,
He
a
definitely
rival
dropped that
league was
100
formed
points, bro.
called the
Check,
NBA.
cause think
It
about it.
was
Around
almost
this
the
time,
death.
like around this time, he a black man. Around this time, bro. Bro, them white people was not about to say he dropped that. Like, they was really saying this nigga dropped his. Like, you know what I'm saying? They was amazed. They were the captain said he won. They was amazed, and they really scored 100
like
points.
the Spurs, Nuggets, Nets, and Pacers. 2 different leagues with over 200 players, completely splitting the basketball fan base. Not only that, but 70% of NBA players were addicted to drugs, which was a big no-no. And by 1978, the NBA was down so bad, even most of the finals weren't aired on TV. Nobody cared about the NBA. But right before officially going bankrupt, the league was saved by 2 unlikely stars. This is Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. And in 1978, they were the 2 greatest players in college basketball history that just so happened to be playing at the exact same time, leading to one of the greatest rivalries ever. They talked smack, got physical, all while dropping 20 points on each other. It became the hottest thing on TV. I'm talking 40 million viewers for a single college game. Between 1978 and 1979, Bird and Magic officially declared for the league, with Bird going to the Boston Celtics and Magic to the Lakers. Meanwhile, the NBA absorbed the 4 remaining ABA teams, making the NBA the only professional basketball league. And oh yeah, in 1979, they finally added the iconic 3-point line. The NBA was suddenly bigger than ever. Hell, the league even started selling players' jerseys for the first time. And it was all led by Bird and Magic. But despite all that, the NBA had no clue what was about to hit them, because there was a kid from North Carolina about to change not only basketball, but the world forever.
Nigga, Michael Jordan just got aura, chat. Like, he low-key just got aura. Like, look at him. I ain't gonna lie. No glaze shit, chat.
North
Like,
Carolina about to change not only
I ain't gonna lie.
basketball, but the world forever. In 1982, a 19-year-old college player was averaging 13 points and 4 rebounds. Nothing special, but it was enough to help bring his team, the North Carolina Tar Heels, to the NCAA championship. And it was during that game that he made a name for himself, because in the final seconds, with his team down 1, he did this.
18. Shot. Jordan. It's over. North Carolina has won the 1982 NCAA championship.
Michael Jordan was ready to take over the basketball world. And in 1984, when Jordan was drafted by the Chicago Bulls, he instantly became a star, winning Rookie of the Year and looking like he'd be the face of the game for years to come. At the start of his sophomore season, Jordan shattered his foot. Meanwhile, there was another player coming out of college, ready to take MJ's spot. This is Len Bias. And the kid was so good, scouts were saying he'd for sure be better than MJ. He was bigger, stronger, and a better rebounder. And in 1986, he was drafted by the Boston Celtics, a team that still had legends like Larry Bird, Bill Walton, and Danny Ainge. But just 2 days later, the NBA was hit with one of their worst tragedies.
Local success story took a tragic turn this morning. Len Bias, the Maryland University basketball star on his way to becoming a world champion Boston Celtic, died of an apparent heart attack today at Leland Memorial Hospital in Prince George's County.
He died of heart failure because he used cocaine. The medical examiner said the cocaine in Bias's body was virtually pure.
So y'all think he better than he would have been? What y'all think? What y'all think? Y'all think he would have been like up there with Jordan? No, I'm not saying he'll be better, but y'all think he would have been like up there type shit? You know, crazy.
He said Bias inhaled the powder.
Of course, if he stay healthy and shit.
The blood and quickly interrupted the electrical activity in his brain, and that produced an irregular heartbeat.
Len Bias tragically passed away, and with that, brought an end to the Celtics dynasty. But there was another dynasty right around the corner. Now, a few months later, Michael Jordan returned from injury and literally became the most famous person in the world. He won 3 championships in a row with the Bulls, released the most iconic shoes of all time, the Jordan 1s, and he was so famous, you could recognize an outline of him. Everyone wanted to be like Mike, and it brought worldwide attention. By 1992, the NBA started playing games in countries like China, Germany, and Russia. And for the first time ever, you had legends like Bird, Magic, and Jordan all playing for the USA Olympic team, forming the Dream Team, aka the greatest sports team ever assembled. At this point, basketball and the NBA was at its peak. It was so big, the league even added 2 teams to Canada, but it was all short-lived.
Last night, we began the show with the disappearance of Michael Jordan's father. Tonight, the worst fears have come true. James Jordan was found dead, victim of an apparent murder.
Jordan was devastated, and being unable to cope with the pain, he officially retired from the NBA in 1993. This left a massive hole in the league, and the Houston Rockets tried to fill it, even winning back-to-back championships. But it just wasn't MJ. So only 2 years after retiring, MJ shocked the world with 2 of the most iconic words in NBA history: "I'm back." But when Jordan returned, he would meet the Black Mamba for the first time. And that's only one of the 8 sections coming up, after a word from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. See, they confirmed to give you the back to MJ, evaluation to get started. Trust me, dog, you won't regret it. Well,
yeah, dog.
We're gonna get back to MJ, cause with the words "I'm back," he made his return to the NBA, where he and the Bulls went on to dominate the league again, winning 3 more championships in a row, including one on Father's Day, where MJ dedicated the win to his dad. It was truly beautiful. But as Jordan's career came to an end, a new era of players were ready to take over. Players like Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, and Allen Iverson. They all brought something the league had never seen before. AI redefined how you could dribble and move with the ball. Kobe brought his Mamba mentality, while no one could contain Shaq's size. But the changes went beyond just the court. By the early 2000s, you saw more players with tattoos, they were wearing chains and jewelry. The league had gotten a complete makeover. By the year 2003, Shaq and Kobe were dominating the league. They teamed up on the Lakers, and it won 3 championships in a row. It was a thing of beauty. That was, until their relationship fell apart. Kobe thought Shaq was being a lazy fat ass, and Shaq thought Kobe was mean. So the two ended up hating each other.
I thought he was
eyes were on a
mean.
much bigger story. See, there was a player in high school that was more famous than any NBA player. A player that was part Magic Johnson, part MJ, and part superhuman. I'm talking about LeBron James, the most exciting prospect basketball had ever seen. I mean, if the league accepted high schoolers, he would have been playing in the NBA at 16. He was that good. And in the 2003 draft, he was selected by his hometown team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, ready to claim his crown as the king of the NBA. But while everyone had their eyes on LeBron, something sinister was going on in the background. A referee by the name of Tim Donaghy was rigging games for the Mafia telling them which
What?
teams to put money on. And it wasn't just a single game, or even one series. He was rigging games for 4 years straight. Tim was literally changing the history of the NBA with each game he reffed. But eventually, the FBI got involved. A 2-year investigation was conducted, and Tim went to jail for 11 months.
11
but
months?
The 2000s weren't all bad. In 07, the league saw the beginning of the super team era in the Boston Celtics, made up of 3 NBA legends, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce. And I know there were other super teams over the years, the 82 Sixers, the 96 Bulls, hell, even the 2003 Lakers. But for the first time in NBA history, teams were intentionally trading for 3 superstars to try and win it all. And in 2010, Miami Heat pulled off the greatest super team the NBA had ever seen. Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron. I mean, they were so good. They made it all the way to the finals in their first year. By 2011, the league had hit one of its lowest points, going into a complete lockout. Basically, team owners wanted to pay their players less. Players said hell no, and the NBA shut down. So, with nothing to do all day, stars like LeBron and KD went and dominated in local gyms. Some players like J.R. Smith went overseas to play, while others were forced to literally find a normal job. No one knew if this was the end of the NBA. But finally, after 161 days, everyone came to a new agreement. And this marked the beginning of the absolutely ridiculous NBA contracts we see today. I mean, dudes like Timothy Mozgov, who averaged 6 points a game, signed a $65 million contract. While stars like Kevin Durant were signing contracts for over $160 million. To put that into perspective, the most Bill Russell got paid at the height of his career was $100 grand per year. That is only $975,000 in today's money. With the NBA finally back, LeBron lived it up in Miami, going to 4 straight finals, winning 2 of them. Basketball was witnessing a new GOAT emerge, and the NBA was in the midst of its LeBron era. By 2014, LeBron returned to Cleveland, ready to win his hometown a ring, thinking it was going to be an endless flow of championships. But there was a team in the Bay Area with a player named Steph Curry, who was about to change the NBA forever.
So inspirational. Check. So
Steph
inspirational.
Curry could shoot the ball from anywhere, and I mean anywhere. The league had never seen anything like it. 3-point shots used to just be, a normal part of the game, but now we saw Steph Curry making it the #1 option, from hitting more threes than any player in NBA history to taking home the MVP award that year and winning the 2015 NBA Finals. He broke boundaries and changed the way the league viewed shooting. So other teams started shooting threes like crazy, trying to find their own Steph Curry. But there was a problem. The dude was one of a kind. So from 2015 to 2018, it was the king of the league versus the greatest shooter of all time. And it made for some of the most memorable playoff series ever. Like in 2016, when LeBron and the Cavs were down 3-1 to the Warriors in the finals. But somehow they came back and won it all, making it LeBron's greatest accomplishment. Meanwhile, international players started invading the league, like Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Nikola Jokic, who account for the last 5 MVPs from 2019 to 2023. Suddenly, the league's best players weren't even American. It was like nothing the league had ever seen before. But when nobody saw coming was a worldwide pandemic.
Oh, the COVID. Nah, yo, Rudy doing that shit was
Is
crazy.
spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here.
Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S.
If I show up to an arena and ain't no fans in there, I ain't playing.
The NBA is suspending the season.
See, the NBA was forced to completely shut down for 4 months. Luckily though, the league was trying to cook up a plan to bring basketball back, and what they came up with seemed insane at first, because the NBA invited teams to Disney World, where they would come and play out the rest of the season, while being stuck inside a bubble for 3 months. They couldn't leave, they couldn't bring anyone in, they couldn't even order food from outside restaurants. It was rough, but LeBron got his 4th ring out of it, and nobody got sick. By 2021, COVID was still around, but the fans were back, and we got to see one of the weirdest seasons ever. The Nets lost in the playoffs because KD's foot was too big. LeBron got eliminated in the first round for the first time in his career, and the Bucks won their first championship since 1971. In the 2022-23 season, we got to see a legendary Celtics vs. Warriors finals, where Steph took home his 4th ring. But I think it's more important to talk about where we are today. See, I feel like there's a problem that no one seems to be mentioning. The NBA's most popular players are getting really old, and I think we're about to witness the end of an era. I mean, the typical retirement age for an NBA player is 35. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler, James Harden, D. Rose, and Westbrook are all 34. Steph and KD are 35, CP3 is 38, and the king of the NBA, LeBron James, is 38 years old too, which makes him the
Damn, this
oldest
video
player
is 2 years old, huh? That's
entire
crazy.
NBA. I mean, are you guys seeing
Right?
what I'm seeing? These dudes are about to retire, and the
Yeah,
league
it's
is
crazy.
about to look a whole lot different very soon. Because with 30 teams at the moment, the league has plans to expand to 32 teams. And with how much the league's changed already, who knows what we could see in 20 more years. Like, there's already talks about a 4-point line, airless basketballs, and Toyota's developing a robot that might even play in the league. This really is
Oh,
the
hell
end of
no.
an era and the beginning of something new.
Imagine getting fried by the robot. Oh, imagine getting fried by a robot. That shit don't even count. It don't even count. You know what to do. Hey, W video though. W video right there. Like what? Do you think you just stop asking me no dumb shit like that? Nigga, I spit in your face. You hear me? You hear me, bitch? You hear me, sugar here? I spit in your face. You hear me, bitch? You hear me, nigga? I spit in your face. Fuck you talking about? What the fuck is this?
Why you should never pee in the Amazon River. Meet your worst nightmare, the kandairu, a tiny, transparent, parasitic fish, almost invisible in murky water. If you pee in the river, the kandairu detects the heat and flow of urine. It mistakes it for water coming from a fish's gills and attacks. It swims upstream and shoots straight into your urethra. Yes,
Yo.
inside your body, in a split second. Once in, it flares barbed fins like an umbrella, locking itself in place. You can't pull it out.
Yo.
The barbs tear tissue, causing immediate internal bleeding.
Yo.
The pain is so intense it can paralyze you. The only way to remove it is surgery. And no, it's not just men. Women are at risk too. Why you
Yo. What the fuck? That was very disturbing, chat. Chat, that was very, very, very disturbing. What if you fell into the sun? Why is this video 20 minutes long? Shouldn't it just be like 5 minutes? What do you mean what happens if you fall into the sun? You fucking die. What do you mean, chat? That's the easiest shit. Y'all hear that? I hear that, chat?